You're listening to Stand Tall and Own It, the podcast for high-performing female leaders who are ready to make an impact by discovering the safety that comes from understanding their own value and exercising their own authority. I'm your host, Andrea Johnson, and I'm here to tell you it is time to just truly be you, my strong friend. It's time to stand tall and own it. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Stand Tall and Own It. I am your host, Andrea Johnson, the Intentional Optimist, and I'm going to talk today about a topic that just keeps coming up over and over and over. It comes up with my conversations with my clients, with other coaches, conversations in interviews that I'm having with other podcast hosts, and it's basically this idea. Most people don't act on making any of the changes I suggest or dive into the products or coaching that I offer until they're truly fed up with where they are right now. Now, I know you're sitting there thinking, well, gosh, Andrea, that sounds pretty drastic. Well, I'll tell you some examples of how you can kind of walk through whether or not you're at that place or not. And it doesn't have to be bad. It could be something good. Let me give you some examples. On the negative side, you might be a business owner, but you've somehow stalled out. Like you can't reach that next level of income, or you're trying to figure out the next pieces of where you want to go and you just can't see the way. You might be in a corporate career and you feel like you can only go so high. You're bored or you're disempowered. Like I always use the phrases like you have responsibility without authority. You have, if you're not watching this on YouTube, I'd probably have the stanky face on. You might be in consistent compromise of your own core values. You feel stifled or unsupported, unbalanced. Oh my word, what if you're bored? Right? That's where I was. It might be in your personal life. You might be unfulfilled, maybe feeling like you're consistently disrespected or like you're just really not making a difference anywhere. And you kind of look down the road and think, what are they going to say about me when I'm gone? Right? I mean, and that sounds terrible, but what if that's on the negative side? What if you're missing something? But what if you recognize you've hit your own lid of expertise, like in business or personal life with processes or systems, just something, and you can't put your finger on it, and you're ready to take it to the next level? That would be a really positive response to being fed up. Overall, something's got to give. Overall, something's got to change. And the vast majority of my clients actually say that to me. Something had to change. Which is why I say living by somebody else's rules is only going to get you so far. Those clients that have hit that wall and work with me, they are ready to say, what got me here ain't going to get me there. Ain't going to get me where I want to be. And they recognize that they need a whole new perspective or skill set. And if our paths cross, that's when they work with me. And I have to be honest with you, countless women have said to me, Andrea, your stuff is so exciting. It's so empowering. It's so inspiring. I love your podcast. I love your free downloads. I love your newsletter. I get a response every week from somebody telling me what they've learned from my newsletter. So if you're not on it, you should get on it, right? But these same women have said they want to work with me. They'll even say, I'm going to take your course. Or I can't wait to work with you. Would you coach me? Yes. I want to join your group. Okay. And they've never, ever taken that step. That's okay, because at the foundation of the idea of Stand Tall and Own It, why I titled the podcast this way, is that you will never make the changes you need until you're tired of where you are. You might have heard it said, change only happens when it's more painful to stay where you are than to try something new. I mean, I left the corporate arena because I was frustrated trying to help people, teams, or systems that were not at all ready to make those changes. Now, is the whole point of this episode for me to tell you, you need to work with me? No. What if you're not fed up? Number one, what if you're here for inspiration and maybe some tips on how to make certain changes and tweak certain things? That's awesome. I am so glad you're here. Please share this with somebody who you know is fed up. What if you're on my newsletter because you like having something positive in your inbox? Or what if you like listening to this podcast because I've been told, and I don't understand this, I think I sound like a little kid, but I have a good voice, right? Maybe that's part of what it is, or it's reassuring and it's very helpful. Here's the thing. You don't need to work with me. Even if you find yourself fed up, You don't need to work with me. The whole point of this is to help you recognize, are you to the place where you are ready to make some changes? So here's 3 steps that you can walk through, being honest with yourself, and then you can tell me whether or not you're fed up. And if you are, you can tell me whether or not I'm somebody who can help you. All right? Now, the first one is pretty basic. I talk about it all the time. It's awareness. You need to recognize and be honest about where you are and that you're frustrated or truly fed up. If you really are to that place, you need to recognize it. You need to also recognize that you might not be. You just might be, dare I say this word, lazy? You might be comfortable. You might be in a situation that you could probably do better and you could make a few changes, and just hearing me say this today is what you needed, right? But if you truly are fed up, my friend, you need to know why. You need to know what it is about the situation. What is the frustration or the fed upness? I feel like I'm saying FedEx, but I'm not. Fed upness. What is it about? Now, this is a really good opportunity for you to journal. You could just pop open a Google Doc. You could pull out your journal or a spiral notebook, or a lot of times we'll use index cards. I just get them at the Dollar Tree, and they're just so easy to put in my purse or to just flip out of my journal, or out of my planner, because it's a little more solid, and it gives me something that I can say, did I do these things or did I act on these? And then I can just toss them away. So that's your productivity tip for the day. Use index cards. So once you do that, you journal it out, you figure it out. Once you recognize and you're honest with yourself, whether or not you're fed up or frustrated, and if you are, what it's about, this is the time the next step is to look for the gaps. What are the things that you're missing? Do you need a new skill set, right? Is it you're frustrated with how far you've gone in your work or your career and you need a new skill set to level up? Do you need new mindsets? Are you in what we might call learned helplessness? I hit this the other day. I've been sick all week. And when your body is tired and worn out, it's really easy to get caught up in the woe is me and everything is bad. And my sweet, precious husband just listens and it's really good. But you might need a new mindset. It might be that just hearing me say this gives you the opportunity to do it. You might need to go listen to some other podcasts, or it might be a really good opportunity for you to say, you know what? I do need to work with you, Andrea. I do need to work with a coach that can help me with some mindsets. You might need some new awarenesses. Maybe that's somebody that could help you really kind of push back on some things. And that's what I love about my core values coaching, is that almost every time somebody comes in with like what they think are their 10 key words, I turn around and I say, let's define them and let's push back on them. And almost all the time they walk out and they're not the words they thought they were going to be. So you might need someone that can help you to see the awareness. And then the third step is to look for some solutions. Who can help you? You need a business coach? Do you need an online course? Do you need a therapist? What if something like what I offer is just the missing piece? I have a client who just finished up working with me, and she actually paused her therapist in order to work with me on her core values coaching. Okay? She saw that as a missing piece. She was willing to go that far. That's being fed up. I have another client who has, I think she's mentioned 3 or 4 other coaches or consultants that she's currently working with, but she saw me as the missing piece, right? So that could be another thing that you want to look for. Do you have all these other things going on in your life, but you have this missing piece that you need to take care of? That's how you know whether or not you're fed up. Because I want you to hear this, my friend. It's a long game. All personal and professional growth is iterative. It's a cycle. You learn something, you become aware of something, you become aware of something, you are invited to make those changes, you make the changes, and then it comes back around. As soon as you make those changes, you're aware of something else, and you get to be invited in to make the changes necessary for that next step. None of it happens overnight, none of it's instantaneous, and sometimes it doesn't happen on your own. Sometimes you can do this on your own, but sometimes you need some help. It is, however, necessary work. It's good work. And it will truly change the trajectory of your life. Now, I dropped this episode right here in between the life principles that I shared last week on intentional optimism and next week's interview with an amazing, powerful woman who, though never my client, has walked this path of getting fed up, understanding her core values, and implementing them, first in her life, then in her business. She is literally the poster child for how this information can work for you if you work it. So while I'm thinking about it, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you are listening to this on a podcast and you are not currently following the show, follow the show. Otherwise, you're going to miss that episode next week and you might forget about it. And it might be just the thing you need. So my invitation to you, other than subscribing and following, is to walk through those 3 steps. What is it that are you truly fed up, and why are you truly fed up? What is it that you need? Sorry, I should go back in my notes and make sure I say them properly. Recognize what it is and be honest. Look for the gaps that you need and then find the solution, or at least ask for a solution. And it may be that you walk through all those 3 steps and you say, Andrea, I'm not fed up. I'm actually in a pretty good place. I would love to hear that. Let me know, because I love to know who I'm talking to. And if you end up walking through those 3 steps and you say, oh, I am truly fed up, Andrea, where do I start? Well, of course, I have free downloads. They're all in the show notes, and you can find them on my website. Core values, intentional optimism, exercises, and information. But of course, my friend, I would absolutely love to work with you. This is not even supposed to be. It really isn't an episode about working with me, but I would love to. It would be my privilege. It literally lights me up to watch my clients make discovery after discovery, even if it's just through my digital course or a disc assessment, both of which you can find on my website and don't have any personal interaction with me. I would love even more, though, to coach you through the process. Links for the course and the coaching are in the show notes, but please know, if you need a business coach, a process coach, a strategist, or someone else, something that I don't do, I might know somebody who can help you. I've been in this business a while now, and I know lots and lots and lots of coaches. I know lots of people who do different things, and I am happy to help you. Because here's the deal. You deserve to not be fed up. I promise. There's no reason to be fed up. Help is available. Maybe it's just you. Maybe it's with me. Maybe it's with somebody else, but it's available. Did this resonate with you? I hope it did. I mean, it's coming up in so many of my conversations that I thought it might. So if it does, let me know. DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Send me an email at andrea@theintentionaloptimist.com. Get on my newsletter or subscribe or leave a comment under this video on YouTube. Because here's the thing, my friend, it is time to stand tall and own it. Even if you're fed up, it's time to stand tall and own the changes that you need to make. Until next time, and next week's amazing episode.